We have been on Green 960 in San Francisco for a number of years, but as of January 4th, I and I believe 2 or 3 other liberal programs, most of their liberal programming is going to be kicked to the street. Green 960 is changing its call letters to what? KNEW, and they're going all right-wing. Now, this has happened to us many times. It happened recently by the same corporate entity in Madison, Wisconsin. It has happened so many times in my 25 years of doing radio as to render the conversation just kind of stupid. But you have to keep in mind, Clear Channel is owned by Bain Capital LLC. That is the Boston-based private equity firm founded in 1984 by Mitt Romney and his partners. They purchased Clear Channel in a leveraged buyout a couple of years ago. One of the reasons this is happening is to remove liberal or left voices from the airwaves permanently. Now, I've gone through an awful lot of crap with right-wingers over the years when they say, well, you're only on 30 stations, Rush is on 700. There's a reason for that. And the reason for it is the manipulation of the marketplace by these monstrous conglomerates like Clear Channel that at one time I think owned, what, Kathy, 1,700 radio stations or something like that? What do I have here in front of me? Well, let me share this with you first. Emmy award-winning former LA TV news producer Sue Wilson, who's an occasional guest contributor on media issues at Bradblog. Bradblog.com, by the way, they're the ones that broke the story on this. I had the information a month or so ago. But was asked not to say anything, and under the fear of being kicked off the air on Green 960 earlier than the last minute, because this has happened to me before too, trust me. I just decided to hell with it, to hell with Green 960, to hell with Clear Channel, to hell with Bain Capital, to hell with them. And just kept doing the program. But Sue Wilson, whose documentary film Broadcast Blues focuses on, among other things, the dangers of Clear Channel's dominance in the radio market following the passage of the Telecommunications Act, noted yet another change by the company over the weekend. In Sacramento, California state capital, very progressive California, where there's been no progressive AM talk station on the public airwaves there for years, more right-wing radio was quietly added to the airwaves in Sacramento. On a Facebook page, she charges, that's linked from her FCC watchdog website, ourpublicairwaves.com, she charges that last Wednesday, the company, quote, pulled a fast one on its listeners in Sacramento, end quote, by replacing an FM rock station with simulcast programming from talk station KFBK, the station which launched and still carries right-wing talker Rush Limbaugh. Ms. Wilson writes that the move, quote, means that hard right-wing talk will fill yet another 50,000 watts of our public airwaves in the Sacramento region, ranging from Lake Tahoe to Santa Rosa. It means our region now gets 4 stations promoting pro-corporate, conservative hate speech, but 0 stations promoting any opposing ideas, end quote. She says that this means, quote, that Limbaugh can tell millions that Occupy Wall Street protesters are pure, genuine parasites, as he has, and smug, stupid idiots, as he has, whose parents will need to housebreak him all over again, as he has, while Sean Hannity defends the UC Davis cops' use of pepper spray and tell millions that Occupy protesters are lunatics of the left wing, as he has, while at the same time on KFBK's sister station, KSTE right-winger Michael Savage calls occupiers Berman. And as Ms. Wilson says, there's nobody there to counter this propaganda. Conservative talk radio supporters will tell us that this is all about free speech, and if we don't like it, we should just change the channel. Well, they're right, Wilson says. It is about free speech, our free speech. Where is our opportunity to get an alternative message out to our community on our public airwaves? There's more. Stick around. I'll be surprised if we're still on Green 960 even as I speak. In 2008, Bain Capital LLC founded by, and currently one of the owners, Mitt Romney, purchased Clear Channel's conglomerate in a leveraged buyout. Clear Channel's removal, I think this is from Brad Friedman's website, Clear Channel's removal of progressive talk from San Francisco's airwaves at the beginning of a presidential election year, when Romney is seen by many to be the GOP's likely nominee, is bound to raise eyebrows and renew progressive concerns about media consolidation under the 1996 Telecom Act. Yeah, okay, but that's going to go nowhere. Obviously, I've been through this before. When was it, Kathy, when Bush first ran? When was that? In around 2000? When was it? Because remember, we were working for a little rinky-dink network that was owned by the UAW, and all of a sudden, station after station after station dropped. And then when we worked at Air America, the same thing happened at the beginning of election cycles. This is what these sons of bitches do. Clear Channel is notorious, and they've gotten even worse now that they're part of Bain Capital, for absolutely choking off any kind of balanced discussion on their stations. I remember when their station in Madison decided to drop us and put us in at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we put on our website the fact they were going to do that and said, you know, if you don't like it, you should let the program director there know. Well, he got his ass in an uproar about 10 minutes after we put that up and pretty much threatened to use his position with Clear Channel, if we didn't take it off our website, to get other stations to drop us. So this has been going on for a number of years, and you need to know about this. I don't know if the other so-called progressive or liberal talk show hosts are going to say a word about this. Maybe, maybe not. And you know, the chance for retaliation by Clear Channel here is pretty strong, because I'm not supposed to be saying any of this. I'm supposed to go along with the BS story that has been out there for 20 years now that the public doesn't want progressive radio, which is a lie. I'll tell you who doesn't want progressive radio. The corporate advertisers don't want progressive radio. The massive corporations in this country don't want this on the air anywhere. And so the strangulation has been slow and persistent, and it's not stopping. So now let me just suggest something. Don't waste your time filling in a petition to get any station to replace the progressive programming that they're dropping, because they don't care. It means absolutely nothing. So spare yourself the false hope that if you sign a petition on some online petition that goes to one of these Clear Channel radio stations or any radio station that continues the screw tightening on progressive radio, don't kid yourself into thinking it'll have any effect. It does not. It never has. It never will. The goal here is to choke off, absolutely destroy any kind of counter-programming to this corporate capitalist craziness that's going on in this country. And to make sure, by closing off all these radio outlets to progressive or left-wing or liberal, whatever you want to call us, points of view, that'll make it more and more difficult for Democrats to get their ideas out, and more definite that the right wing will continue to dominate. Now, this is just the way it is. It's the way it has been since I've been in radio. So every time I get an email from one of these little scum suckers that says, well, if you're so good, why aren't you on 700 stations like Rush? You know, I feel an inclination to answer, and then I think, nah, you know, because these people don't deal in reality. They're not reality-based. They deal in garbage and junk. So I just thought you'd like to know. If you're listening in San Francisco, January 4th, we're gone. But you will be able to hear Glenn Beck. In San Francisco, Chicago, and I think New York, not a single liberal, commercial liberal program on the air. And that's because the market has dictated? Right.